Hello there. All right. Welcome back to another little episode of writing some code live, doing everything sort of for the first time. Obviously, I've used Maui, I've used Gearsharp, but making something useful with it is new. I've always done samples and demos, and I've written the libraries or worked on the libraries, so I know what there is, I know what should happen, but I haven't yet put it together. So in this project, as we all know, with the titles and all the pictures, it's some sort of endless runner that we're making, and we've chosen a baby theme. So just quickly go over what we've got so far, just to catch up where we left off, and then we'll have a look and see what we want to do to clean it up. So we've got our Button Maui app on our cross-platform, and we have basically skipped out all the other admin work, if you will, make the app look cute, and rather just focusing on the current game logic. And then once that's sort of semi-complete, we can go back and make the menus nice, add transitions and animations and sound effects and things like that. So in our project, we've got a bunch of stuff, but our main page is this sort of game page, and down over here we've got some sort of game surface. This game surface is just a SK animated view, which comes from the Gearshop extended sort of library, and it just gives us the update on Paint sort of methods where we can focus on writing the game and not worry about frames per second and starting and stopping timers and things like that. And our game is our main entry point. We come over here, we've got a bunch of code which we'll look at in a second, but this basically does a bit of logic and does the real drawing. So we've got like a move player, we've got a remain when you hit something, lives changing, we go make sure it's game over. We have an update loop here that just moves all our variables and make sure that our positions and speeds, and we also detect sprites move at the edge, and then we've got collision detection at the bottom, and of course we have our draw logic, which basically clears a canvas, does some transformation, and draws the sprites. We also have a bit of logic here at the bottom to make sure that we need to spawn new sprites. So we're running down the road or the hallway in this particular game, and we've got to dodge things, and those things need to appear somehow. And we have that's a bit of logic, and of course some basic things. We have a definition of a chunk. This is sort of well, let's run let's run the game as well. But this chunk represents a sort of a chunk, if you will, of the floor. This will have various obstacles or rewards, things that you can pick up, and some of those obstacles and rewards are based off a sprite. The sprite just contains an image asset, some sort of scaling and origins and offset, as well as a bit of draw logic to draw a particular asset and doing a bit of collision detection. Those are obviously the base. That is the base type, but those things all come together as either a reward. In this particular thing, it just doesn't do much, but we have a reward, we have an obstacle, and we also have a player. So those are the things that appear on the map. We also have, which is gone now, we've got our asset manager, which is basically to load various images. And when we run our game, oh my goodness, what does that even mean? Let's just run it again. Not sure why it crashed, because I was just running it. No, there you go. Something happened. And that's currently our game, right? It's quite simple. We are still working on the game logic. We are still putting things together, and we've got a cool feature, let's call it. We want to support desktop and landscape. Currently, this is wide. Let's say you put your phone on the side, maybe you can still play it. Obviously, this player is quite now right in the corner, and nothing's really animated, but you're more focusing on making sure that the game works rather than looks great. And of course, a portrait phone will be like this. Now, if we pop this to the side, let's pop that there. and let's pretend that is an iPhone. We can obviously run it on an iPhone, but let's run it. Now, one thing I noticed that would be nice to fix up is that if we were to run to the end, especially if you've got a wide one, you see the player is chopped off at the bottom, and of course portrait, the top corner is quite cut off, and there's a lot of wasted space. So one thing I want to go check is if we go to our game and we go over to our update, we have a bit of logic over here, the origin matrix, to work out where this player is. The player is the origin, that's 0, 0, and above him is negative, but um, that doesn't mean anything, it's just that how we've done it. And in this particular one, we can see that he's in not the greatest position. Now I thought, okay, before we do anything, let's go check out the competition, if we will. So I was just browsing a few sites. I did a basic, search for endless runner game. I don't know why it's small all of a sudden. Um, and I got a couple of results. So I found this particular game. I haven't actually run this, so hopefully it's okay. Oh, I can't scroll it sideways, but let's play him in the corner then. And then uh, we've got this sort of thing, right? This game over here has, whoops, this is sort of something we're creating, not quite this one. Oops, it's very difficult to play that. There wasn't really an option for that to get out of there. Let's just have a quick look down. Oh, yeah. Okay, so clearly I'm not a gamer, but this one is quite narrow. You have quite a, this might be a design choice. I don't quite know how we were supposed to get past that. Wonder if I can, doesn't matter. There was also, okay, let's go add, so we don't need zoo run. There's these ones that are absolutely nothing useful. But I saw this particular game, Cube Dash. This is written by Sparksimer, yeah. And the cool thing with this is written construct. So I did play with this many moons ago. I know my brother makes things sometimes with this. I'm not sure what his current thing, but you can make some quite cute, cool. I guess go to showcase. No, I forget. You can make a whole bunch of games. So this is definitely one if you don't want to do programming. I think they've got options to do, scripting and things like that. So it's not just drag and drop, but you can do a whole bunch of games. Let's see if the community. I'm pretty sure there was sort of a game center. Come check out the games people made, um, but definitely this was the construct was cool, and this person has made this game, which is sort of what we want as well. They basically just have a jumping mechanism. I think this particular one, there was one that had a triple lane. Let's go find his games as well, which is sort of more what we were trying to make. Isometric games. Let's go to his collection. And which one was I looking at? Tiny Runners, I think, or Barn Dash was what I was looking at. Well, it's yeah, this one. Oops. So this is sort of what we want. Now he has arrow keys, which is great, but he also has, oops, he also has a unique running. So arrow man, like, oh, I'm gonna go back. It actually it's not a straight. It doesn't follow parallel lines. It sort of goes back and to the left, back and to the right. So this is sort of what we're making. And if we were to take our game, pop him, let's say about there to there. I don't know what game width is. It's sort of similar. His one obviously looks way cooler because he has more vibes. Ours is quite popping. We might need to generate images or create images that are slightly more subtle or less harsh on the eyes. But overall, this is what we're trying to make. Another one I saw was this was slightly different approach. It's always going upwards, but you go left, right, and um, random stuff. But I was also looking at Crossy Road. Crossy Road is not an endless runner, or it is an end, I don't know if it's endless runner, but basically it's a different approach of you moving in a straight line. Nothing's coming at you, but um, you have to get to the end, and things are kind of trying to ride into you. So they also have a, if we were to take our game, let's make it a similar size. So they have also our sort of angle. So it's not a unique idea to have a semi-isometric game. Um, of course, Google Play has a landscape version as well, which we can also just quickly check to see. Um, Now our landscape one, we've gone with the option of you know, changing the angle. In this particular one, your player is the reindeer, I think. You just see more of the things coming at you. Our particular game doesn't have things coming at you, so it's not quite the same. But moving the angle like this um, be something I wanted to try to see, can we do something more exciting? And like you notice with this one, if I move like that, you go off the screen. So our game is not 100% unique, which is sort of sad, but at the same time, it just helps us. We're not you're not inventing some brand new system. So if we want to quickly fix the basic things, let's get that, and then we try and make our game more complete. And now one thing I was thinking about is, let's just position it correctly. Maybe move the player up a little bit more here, so it also fits better. But at the same time, right now it looks very harsh because you've got the sort of the colors in the middle with green, and I was getting inspiration from okay, this is one way to do it. It's very, I was playing on my phone, it wasn't too crazy, but see a lot of them do that. But I was hoping to make it. I don't think I saw a picture of it. Yeah, it's across the road. Yeah, they just extend it and they got things here to block you. But I was going to try create a thing where you're going to run, but even though it's going to be blank space, the floor is going to extend. Like this will be a narrow corridor, so the vertically will go down here, so you would see like the floor, like foundation, and maybe some dirt. And I was going to use this area to display scores, maybe on the top, depending on orientation. So let's say I had a portrait device, right? I would have scores written at an angle, like on the wall, a picture on the wall, for example. So yeah, I'll try that. I'm not sure exactly what to do. I want to remove it off the top and just make this game more fun, I suppose. Fun to look at. And then I was also going to have a look and see. We just got bottles here. I want to maybe implement a jump mechanism. Maybe the bottle's a bit smaller, make the whole game a little bit bigger, and just sort of clean it up so that I think what I did like was when I was running this tiny isometric. You can't pause it. You're like, what was it? It was even Edge Runner, right? These large blocks was quite nice to play with. So we'll play with some stuff, we'll fiddle with it, and then I want to like make the game work a bit, and then just see if I can get. I don't know. My brother likes to play games, these challenging type of ones where it involves speed as well as some sort of skill, and just see how he feels with it, and let him have slightly more expert opinion. Another thing I didn't notice when I fixed is if you go like that and see the bottles are in reverse order. And this is because the way I'm drawing it front to back. So we'll fix that too. So let's put it like that, and let's move this guy just sort of up and to the right, sort of somewhere different. So this is quite simple. This translation, we basically, all this line means move the entire origin to point 0 at the bottom, which we don't want. We want to say, let's say make it, I don't know, 100 up, and to the, well, let's see what looks like 100 up. It's the man. Okay, that, that's great. Let's move it portrait. He is a bit, possible. We'll have to do some detection, like, okay, we've got a landscape. That's a nice position, maybe, right? Because he's in the middle. You know what? We actually want to move him a bit to the right. Let's make that, I don't know, let's put 50. Right, maybe that's better. And there's our guy. And of course, if we make it a portrait device, right, he's off the screen. So maybe what we can do, maybe we can do some advanced thing. We've got the width. So even like math f dot, let's just do minimum. And what we want to do is either 50 or we're going to do width divided by 2f. But I don't know if that's something we can do. Right? Or maybe it's because of the scaling. If I do that 0 and a height 0, but can I, let's do translation and let's do 0, 0 to make sure we didn't break anything. There we go. And let's make the x, actually y is minus 100. 256, right? That's the size of our tile. Okay. I think that's what I'm supposedly doing correctly. Real units. There's our guy. But now he gets all on the edge there. So we're going to do, let's just do minus 256. There we go. Center, right? If we make him landscape, okay, now he's cut off. But portrait is also cut off. So 0. Wait a second, didn't we have a problem before? Or maybe, I don't know. Wasn't it like a hideous problem before? Maybe it's the Y. Go to that position. And obviously you get landscape, it gets quite close. I wonder if we can do half a tile, 128. Let's move him in a bit, and of course we've got an iPhone. I think that's better, right? So it's never too close. And it's the same if I make it quite narrow, like on there. I mean, playing landscape on your phone is not how it's designed, but technically we can detect this. So instead of going up minus 256, we can maybe just see what 0 looks like. Oops. But of course we don't want that, because if we move to the right, it's going to be cut off. But I suppose he's at the top, right? Also want to make arrows to press. So I think we'll keep him there. Probably can figure out some sort of algorithm to make sure that it's always in the middle. Of course, it doesn't want to, gestures don't want to work now. But yeah, I think that'll be fine for now, actually. So let's do tile size divided by 2f and minus tile size divided by minus tile size. There we go. And just move the player away from the edge of it. There we go. I think that's nice. One thing I do want to do is maybe add some buttons, not buttons, just let's fix the bottles. They're annoying me. Fix the bottles next. So one thing we want to do is reverse the sprites. So let's not do any complicated link statements. Let's just do explicit for, and I'm pretty sure just do I, and I bet you there's a reverse for statement. That's cool. There we go. The bottles are now made correct. One thing I want to check is are bottles overlapping? Let's just test that. So when it comes to sprite, reward was a bottle, and let's just make that my 7. I think that's what I want, and I do want to force them to overlap each other and make sure that the front rows are overlapping the back rows. But of course, I'm not going to get any. Okay, yeah, that's incorrect. And I think I recall from the way it is that it's a problem with the chunks. We are looping through the chunks from the lane number. We need to reverse the lane number. So the front lane, reverse for statement. That. Let's see. So those are all going to be broken still. So we want to put the front, there we go. There we go. The bottles are on top. So if I was to just linearize this. And the bottles are on top of each other. Alright, and there's it as well. Okay. So right up the man looks like he's running in a weird location, but that's not a real device, and we're going to fix those sprites later. This one actually is a bit hard now that I think about it. Yeah, we're going to need different algorithms for. Where's that land here? Yeah, no. It's better. I mean, yeah. Hmm. Let's just do that for now. Keep that X and just move it up a bit. So that's okay. Let's just go with that. We'll tweak it later once we've done it. So one thing I do want to do is maybe put something else besides the bright green. That is great. So let's have a look and see how we can do that. We've got our bottles. I want to maybe change that for something, but for now let's draw. So it'll be in our draw loop. We're going to draw our floor tiles. Now, one thing we do know, we've rotated the canvas to be at this particular angle, so we're drawing these tiles. One thing we can also do is if I also think I can do, so draw an image and the lane. What is lane? Lane is an integer, x and a y. So let's just draw it at 0, 0 for now and see what happens. There it is, our tile popping. But we want to do canvas dot rotate. Now if y, the canvas dot concat, we're going to do sk matrix 44 dot create rotation degrees, and we want to rotate 90 degrees, I think, on the z, I think the y-axis, 0, 1, 0, 90, I think is what I want. It's, there we go. So now we can do not x, we do I think middle. Let's move that one, 3, 6, I think, right, and up. Up 6, just to find him. There's our tile. The second one. I remember now why. So we've got a translation. We isometric. We animate the floor offset, and then we drawing our tiles, floorboards, lane. Lane start is probably animating as well. And count visible floor length, distance far. Distance far. Think new line here quickly so we can. Distance far is over here. No, distance near. If you reverted this plus lane start. So we've got lane and distance. Let's just quickly distance in the back. Just want to do distance near. So lane start, distance near. Let's quickly create a loop for and I is equal to 0, I smaller than I don't know, 1000 for now, I plus equals our size. There it is. Okay. Let me, where's that debugging? Let's just quickly zoom out so we can see this and see. Okay, there we go. So if I was to just put 0 there, where did that go? Can't find him. Let's zoom out a bit more. 3, 3. There he is. Okay. One thing is interesting, 0. There it is. Okay. So I want to draw this image at lane dist near. Is that right? Lane distance. There we go. and then we want to move it across. Okay. Yeah. Got some delicious snacks just arrived. Woohoo! So um, that is our X and the distance near, and obviously if we're going to do distance far, it'll be at top end. But there we go. All right, so what we want to do is we want to again also do a loop from distance near to, yes, the back first. And let's just control, we don't want that. We're going to draw it twice. We want to, and this will be lane, what was the lane? Lane N. Go. Cool. So I believe if we were to remove that quickly, that's what we want. I don't quite know why I just didn't do that in the beginning. So now I have a strip, oops, from the far to the close, and lane start. Which one is it? No. X. That's vertical. Is now we want to move it across X. Let's call it tile size. It's half a tile size times 9. Here we go. Why am doing the rotation? How does 3 tiles fit over 1 tile? Am I rotating in the wrong axis? Let me just quickly check that. Okay, that's that. We don't want that. We do want the Y axis. 90 degrees that way. I thought in my mind, right, if I go lane 0, right, and then I want to move over 1 tile in the X direction, right? Let me quickly disable, let's hop over here and just do the rotation degrees. I'm moving in the wrong direction. Now that I see that, right? It looks like I'm moving, but actually I'm moving down. Yes, remember I rotated the whole thing, so I need to move in the Z direction. Um, yeah, I need to do this. Great translation. 0, 0, comma underscore tile size in the Z direction, right? There we go. Oh my goodness. Times 3. There we go. And then of course this one I'm going to do 0. There we go. Right? There we go. Okay. And then of course we're going to do, let's quickly do another canvas restore here. So this just, we don't actually need it at the bottom, but you know what? Yeah. Let's just be uniform together. And of course we want this. We're going to copy this, put this above here. 4, no. Draw the wall behind the, draw the back wall, and now we can get some cool tiles in a second, and then draw 4, and then for the front. So yeah, important to recognize when you turn your camera 90 degrees, moving along the x-axis, when your x-axis was down, draw the back wall, and I think that is the wrong one. So what we're going to do is we're going to still, we want to rotate. We don't want to rotate, move on the x-axis. We want this one, right? But then, whoops, wrong one. And we, instead of going down, we want to go up. And the way we go up is actually put that back, x, and we go along the y-axis. X, X, X. Remember the camera's facing downhill now, I think. We go up in the X. And there we go. Now obviously it looks absolutely hideous. But that's it. Draw the, wonder if I can I draw the floor on top. So draw the back wall, draw the front wall, and then just draw the floor on top. So then we can just rotate. But let's do that. The front wall is not gonna have things. Oh no, I want the front wall. Floor over the front wall and then the back wall. So the back wall there, the bottles will cover the wall and the bottle can hang over. So the floor, I might have a graphics that sticks over the floor. So let's just say the man. I think I'll be able to see that. Oop, and let's make it bigger again. We've got that scale here, and let's make it back to 4, and we can 5, 3. Forget what number I had there, but I'll fix that in again. There we go. And there we go. So right now the images are not amazing looking. The tiles. What I actually would do to emulate this, let's rotate the cameras, move the tile up. We move it up minus 3 times tiles, right? That's going to go up quite high. Then what we want to do is scale. We're going to scale in the X direction, and we're going to make that 3. No idea why that would freeze. Make it 2. Oh my goodness. Okay. 3, 1, 1. Can't scale by 0. There we go. It looks pretty sus. Hopefully, if we get better graphics, like a brick wall pattern, let's make that a bit bigger. Let's make it 4 times bigger. That. And this is definitely Dutch dungeon vibes. In the case of the translation, draw the front wall. This one doesn't really matter. I can just make it 4 as well. There we go. So obviously we need to have better one. Like our floor will be slightly better, but yeah, right now it's really confusing. There's no shadows. You probably should put shadows. Maybe put the shadows in the sprite of the bottle, or something. I wonder if we can put a light behind the dude, and the shadow is always behind. Like to draw the shadows is something pretty cool which we can do. Draw the sprites. The concat we've got to translate. So when we draw a sprite, right now we are doing this thing. We're scaling it and we're keeping the transform, right? However, could also just do this, right? So let's just do that and take off that. We can do canvas.concat and then do transform. I think this will squish the bottles now to there. And then we want to do canvas dot. There we go. So we can emulate shadows. Just quickly copy that. That's right. Okay. Bring the scale back in quickly. Offset. Can't remember now. Sort of like that, right? So this is not how we want to do it, but basically our bottles can have a shadow. It'll be a black, it'll look much better. Asset scale, transform, and we fit in there. Right, so we can do something like that to draw the shadow. We can comment that out and then draw the other thing. So, but okay, right now this brown is hideous, but it is what it is. We'll get better graphics. Let's also make this, just make it fit there. Man also is running weird, so I think what we're going to have to do is maybe have, yeah, at this point 3D is probably the best way to do it, but our aim is, and I think maybe what we can do is we can maybe clamp the rotation of the surface. So, if you get a very super tall phone like this phone or whatever, then we can actually, that looks much better than it is before. So, but that's not a normal size of phone. I think the iPhone is that sort of scale. But let's just do that for now. Our aim is not to have the greatest assets. Maybe one day we just go 3D. but yeah. And what else do we want to do? Let's also do let's change this chunks. Let's change the background to black for goodness sake. It's pretty gross. As to black. There we go. Definitely going to be dungeon vibes in a second. The computer has exploded somehow. There we go. Right. Okay, that looks way better. The green was pretty scary. So, whenever we do transparent, can I just straight draw it? Look at that. I don't want that though. Black. And then, obviously, the wall is going to be a cool graphic. We might even say, hey, let's actually not do that. So we've got our great iron offset. We're going to scale as well on the x-axis. So each tile. Probably just be doing some math here, tile size. So let's just keep that for now. Right now it looks a bit scary, but we've got our basic game here. Let's add some buttons at the bottom for direction. Now we could do on-screen in game, if you will, but because we are cool, I can make another grid here. And let's just make sure we got everything the same. Okay, and let's just add, what should we add? Let's add a button for now. I wonder if we can do background is equal to transparent, and let's just do that. And let's add some text. Text is equal to, maybe this one. Very easy. Text color. That. Why is that valid? Oh, ampersand less than, right? Oh, and then we do text color. We're going to make that white for now. Where is he? Where is he? There he is in the middle. And we're going to do, let's just move that background. You probably can use a nice image. Probably should use image button, but we'll fix that and make that horizontal options, and we do start, we do vertical options, and we do end. Right, there we go. The trick is we break the swipe. Right, so obviously if I do the background, let's make this red for now. See where our button is, and we can say, okay, cool, let's make the text font size, make this 200, for example. Oops, that's a bit huge. But technically, that's where you want to tap. Let's make it 150, like that. And let's make the, yeah, actually, column span. Let's add a grid. Column definitions, make the start, comma, start, comma, start. Then this would be fill. There we go. So that. Make it back to transparent. The problem is we can tap the button, that's great, but now we won't be able to swipe when we're swiping over in that region. So maybe, because if you're holding our phone, I'll get my phone out, okay, so but I'm playing at the bottom. How do I do reverse phone? Wish I need a second camera overhead. But right now in my hand, I'm playing, okay, tap, tap, tap. Or if I'm swiping, I need to swipe over everything. Like I almost need, yeah. Because you put players in the bottom, right? You don't really want to cover, you want to, yeah, fingers, that's exactly where your finger's going to be. Now, I almost feel like this dude has to go up. And maybe we just say, hey, when you're playing on your desktop, we, let's just move him up. I probably should connect this to my Android phone and then mirror my screen. Now, that will be fun so that we can play, but here we go. Like move it up a bit. Let's move it up -3 times, right? Like that's better, right? And then we'll say, okay, so let's make a new value const here. Let's just for now. Where's the, wait, no, it's over here. Let's quickly check to see how far off the ground it's going. pushier. Let's be honest, nobody uses that kind of anything. So there it is. Okay, so let's just quickly test. If I was to move it way overboard, like move it up 6 tiles. Okay, it's still cropping off the edge, but that's okay. We probably need to reduce the far distance, like yeah, so it doesn't draw so much over the edge, but that's not the main problem. I am looking for where was it a value? Where do we do it here? Scan distance, game over, floor angle, okay. The isometric height, bottom left. Then we scale it up on the origin, and then we're moving it up vertically by that amount. Invertimeter top left coordinate, the floor length, okay. Check here. Okay, oh, here it is. Right, so that's where we want to do. So what we're going to do is the distance near. So we do like, I don't know, 8 tiles. There we go. That's the visible floor length. So maybe do minus. That's probably going to be quite extreme. But I suppose in this particular, oops, no. Right, that's centered. Now the only problem is because in our actual game we want to do maybe just 3. And quite a lot sticking off the bottom. Wonder if we should do some sort of logic to, if we were to make this right, there's a whole lot of wastedness, but vertically that 6, tile 8, 4. Oops, so high. So obviously it will be nice when 3 tiles up. Let's make it 2 tiles up. Make sure that when we go landscape, we're not actually secretly revealing. Okay. All right. And we take off our scaling for the drawing. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a little bit higher, the guy. Should probably put numbers here. We can do that later. All right. Now we've got those buttons. Do we like the buttons? From the buttons are going to intercept the tapping and the thing. Now, what we could possibly do is also add a tap gesture recognizer. So instead of buttons, let's take off buttons and just use a tap gesture recognizer. We don't actually need visible buttons in order to tap gesture recognizer, and we're going to do tapped. It's the number of taps required, because we also want to do jumping. So taps required is 1 tapped. I wonder if it's going to detect a tap with a swipe. I guess we're going to do is on tapped. Let's quickly add that method. So save that and do save this. So I wonder we can do display quick alert, tapped, tapped, and do OK. All right, so if I'm swiping, there's our guy, amazing. Then if I tap, There we go. Maybe we can. Okay, I think we can do that. So let's do. That's pretty cool. Where's that swiped go? Oh, there we go. Unswiped. Okay, over. So let's do underscore game dot tap. Well, let's actually not do anything fancy. Let's copy that, even though it's nothing what we want, but whatever. What do we have in here to use? We got parameter, we got buttons, position. That's what we want. Okay. So var relative is equal to e dot position relative to game surface. Why do we have game surface? Anyone using game surface? Let's not use it. Let's just yeah, let's just do game surface. I'm not sure what sender is. Sender I think is element. Um, oh, that's sus looking. Don't like those extensions. There we go, much better. And then we do pattern matching. Can we do? Oh, let's just try something new. C# pattern matching creator. Then can we do that? Like, let's make this one smaller. Pattern matching overview. Let's see what Copilot tells us. That right? Like, oh, it's not pattern matching. So let's be better than this. Can we just auto pattern match this? No. Dir is equal to e dot dir dot what's those flags? Let me quickly check that. It is somehow you can flag both. Okay, that's not the correct one. So we do if direction dot has flag left else if flag right. So flags is what it is. Then we do if for width is equal to surface dot width divided width. If relative, where if your tapping is small, if it's smaller than width divided by 3, then moving left, else if relative it's greater than width times, let's do 0.666, right? Times 0.333. Yeah, 667,333. Let's do that. Relative dot x. Show how that will work. Doesn't have value, or if relative dot can we do dot Oh, I can just do that. Is int is double x. I wonder if that works. So if I tap here, there we go. Boing, boing. Tap in the middle, nothing happens, but I can swipe in the middle. Tap, tap, swipe, swipe, or not swipe, I was swiping, and then we, the swiping sometimes breaks, but I can now fix it, I swear. So I hack, just hit Control S over there. Take off the tap gesture recognizer, put it back. There we go. I can swipe at the bottom as well as, swiping on it. Just now seeing that bottles are vanishing too quickly. So let's quickly fix those bottle locations. So the reason they're vanishing is because we're doing this one, but we don't want to do that. We want to do, this is where we need to, linear tile size times 4. So should that be, let's just quickly test that, tile size times 4. I believe that's correct. It is correct. Oh, it's 5. There we go. Okay. So that's much better. When you change them to the Z ordering, I just saw the man's foot over the bottle there. But we can fix that in a second. All right. And then a bunch of changes. This game looks a bit better. We've got a bit of movement happening here. Now we're going to do some diapers and stuff. But before we do that, I want to quickly save all of this and then check our changes and just make sure we can track this properly. Can we do it unified? There we go. Here we go. All these magic numbers is very scary. 9 times 5 is 5. Let's go back. Yeah, particular one, let's make it 5. The bug scale is okay. So our sprite, that's reward. We made the bottles bigger. Let me just quickly make sure that. Oh, oh, I'm actually drawing the rewards. Let's go back to 4, right? For our bottles. Okay, we've done some tapping here. That's nice. Game page. We had a tap. Okay, so our main issue is a game. We've got too many magical variables that makes it incredibly difficult to customize, and they should all be related and stuff. So, luckily, we can scroll over here. Let's have a look and scroll down and find our magic numbers, and let's unmagic move player. That's fine. Lives remaining. That's fine. Lives remaining. Let's move this into a constant. Introduce constant for 3, and we're going to do this. These should be capital 1. So let's just quickly fix this. This will be default lives remaining. move that over here. Let's quickly make this running speed. Oops, let's just stop this. Right, because we got running speed, lane count. Do we use this? No, we don't. It's gone now. Yay. Tile size. I wonder. Okay, tile size is the size you want to display it. Yeah. Global scale. Okay. All right. We've got those constants, and we're going to do here. This one goes to be default. Height remaining. Floor angle is calculated, running speed, delta time, degrees. Here we go. Keep that there for now. This move is display. So this times padding will be, move a constant, and for this one will be vertical vertical layer offset. Go, and there's a comment there. The also player sprite, the player sprite okay. And the magical variables. Let's make this constant horizontal layer offset, and we're going to make a comment to this. Let's see if IntelliSense can do it. Oops, yes. Okay. Yep. Is this? Here we go. Here we go. This tile size is 5. This needs to be another one. This one needs okay. Tile count behind layer. Alright, tile size 5. Number of tiles to render behind the layer sprite. Go. And this one also needs to be, here we go, they're all constants, right? So this doesn't need to introduce constant. This will be no, it doesn't need to be a constant, right? That's just rendering values. That's just how we want to render it. This one is changing because the distance changes. Okay. Add some padding. This we need to investigate that. See, are we adding padding here and we are adding padding here? So I think We're probably doing it in double. We'll check in a second. 90. Here we go. Translation. This is to do this is tile height. This is your wall height actually. Yeah, it's fine for now. Did I do it? Yeah. Okay. And this logic define the tiles. That's great. Next chunk. This probably should be a single amazing. Here we go. Lane, origin, sprite. Where's the sprite? Here we go. Create. We're going to create the sprite. Let's kind. See this sprite. Get a sprite manager. That's a bit overkill for that. Okay. Well, that's fine for now. This probably can be extracted somehow into a separate bit of work. So we spawn a sprite. Maybe this must be available sprites, next sprites. Here we go. Let's just get next chunk. Here we go. Let's move this. Here we go. Pick next chunk. There we go. So determine. Can I extract this? Does it return a boolean extract method? No. Oh my gosh. That seems very suspect. Like it's not what we want. Let's use that, and that's. I'm pretty sure it used to do a better result. Should spawn new sprite. We do if not should spawn new sprite and return. There we go. There we go. Boom. Right. Invert this. Equal to 0. Then we can return true. Right. If there's no sprites, we have to do a sprite. Return. So return false as return true. Right, so if we've got no sprites, we do that. If the sprite added before, if further sprite is still off the screen, then do nothing. Otherwise, we do true. In fact, we should else, and we can fix that. Simplify check. There we go. Yep, let's be explicit about this. Can we invert the if? That'll be better for the logic. The screen. The further sprite is okay. If the first sprite is still off the screen, do nothing. Return false. The sprite. We need more sprites. We need more sprites. Okay. There are no sprites, so we need something. There we go. Pick the next chunk. Can I convert that? Okay. Extract this logic. Is chunk valid? Chunk valid. Then is chunk chunk fit? Can chunk where? Contiguous. Can chunk fit? Is chunk valid? Fitting, correct. Is chunk and chunk fit? Whatever. If there was no last chunk, then we can use any chunk. Okay. There are no overlays, you can't use this chunk. Okay. There we go. So there you go. Pick next chunk, right? Go through all the available chunks, and I think what I can do now is make a new array. Can we fix that by we go through all the chunks, find the ones we don't want. We can count them. An array in a list, enumerable. So let's do our next chunks equal to pool. Something like a pools array pool. There we go. Chunk share dot rent, and we're going to do underscore available chunks dot length, right? Just rent an array, and then we're going to do for int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than underscore available chunks dot length I plus plus. There we go. And then we're going to do if chunk if that's not chunk, we're going to have a blank. Okay, then we do our last insert or next insert. Next insert is equal to 0. Okay, if chunk chunk is equal to available chunks I. If chunk and chunk fit chunk, then we can do next chunks chunk. There we go. Put the chunk in. Even though this is cool to do, it's going to cause confusion one day when I'm tired. Okay, so this will be the chunks added. Okay, chunks added, chunks that fit, chunks that fit is 0, right? Put it in there. Then we can do this is definitely overcool chunks that fit, right? And then the next chunks. There we go. And of course, we need to do array pool chunk dot share dot return. There we go. Next chunk. Okay, pick a chunk. Pick next chunk. We should probably have a chunk manager. You know, let's do that because we love to over-engineer things. So let's do that and do public class chunk manager. Then, okay, available chunks. Where is this? Over here. Here we go. Chunk manager. Let's put him there. Where's this red one here? Pick next chunk. You know, and I think your asset manager, I had a static one, right? There we go. So let's do game chunk manager, and we do chunk manager. We don't have any. Go. All right. Public. Can we do that? No, we can't do that. Manager. We technically can create a new asset, but whatever. So private read-only chunks. Okay. Pick next chunks. This will be public, but we have an error here. Last chunk. So let's go for last chunk. Yeah. Somewhere there's a last chunk. There we go. Okay. Last chunk row, right? Pick a next chunk. Okay, chunk, add the chunk if you can fit. Pick a random one from the chunks that fit. There we go. Over-engineer that. Can chunk fit? Let's make this public because I want to do some unit testing on this because I am suspicious about my logic. So we're going to say pick a next chunk, and what we can do is pick chunk. Let's do testing reasons. I want to pick a specific chunk, right? So pick pick next chunk. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Pick next chunk for the lane. Here we go. Okay. Fix that in a second. So we have the chunk manager. Let's scrap that. Let's not plan too far here. What is this? Make field read only. Okay, that's never cool. Then we still got some errors here, right? So we got chunk manager dot default dot pick next chunk. Actually, we don't want to have a default, right? Each game needs to have an right, because the asset manager is global assets, but the chunk manager, let's make it a private chunk manager. I have a chunk manager and read-only player. A list of sprites, but that's because we're going to add game over, floor offset, and isometric. So it's at the top. The manager which provides and which fix chunks for the game. There we go. Whoosh. Okay, and to reset, we're going to have to do sprites dot is equal to new chunk manager. Let's just do that. Right, each game is going to have a new chunk manager. Okay, so then we go over here, asset manager, no, chunk manager dot pick next chunk, right? The last chunk row is not supposed to be initialized there. I think that was lane count. Okay. Everything's just a global variable, everything sits. Amazing. Okay, chunk manager. I guess we don't want default, that's the whole point. So we do public int lane count. Okay, and we just put this in a local variable as well. Field lane count. All right. So we picked our next chunk. Okay, should spawn a new sprite. Okay, pick a new chunk. Then we go through the lanes, we copy the lanes into, we spawn the sprites, right? But now after we spawn it, track the last sprite in his lane, right? So no matter what, this method needs to record what we just did. Where is that one? Here we go. So we pick a chunk, we return it, and then we need to quickly sprite number is equal to lane.length. Okay, so last chunk row is equal to next chunk, right? If I'm guessing this right, chunk to sprites.length. There we go, like that, right? So you go to for lane is equal to 0. Well, lane is smaller than lane count, lane plus plus. Then the last chunk row lane is equal to right kind. So we're going to go to next chunk dot lanes no, sprites. And then we need to do, and then we need to take away one, right? Lanes is 6 lanes, and each lane is that one. So, I mean, technically someone can lie, but this should never be now. And sprite kind, I believe, is an enum, which will be done by default. Okay. All right, where are we now? Should that be now? No. if the current is the last, see this, right. The last sprite is none, and the new sprite, let's just do that. The last sprite is none. We make sure. Oh, that logic is wrong, but that's how to fix this. Okay, whatever. Okay, and then this is never going to be now. Maybe now here, but this is not true. Actually, chunk fit. Yeah, they have to loop over it twice. Let's compare. Okay, so the errors are gone. It's our game running in again. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. Move off the edge. Okay, play location, deflecting collisions, concat, scaling here to do, draw the floor, draw the sprites of the player. If it shouldn't spawn a new sprite, then return. Otherwise, in the chunk manager, pick a next chunk, right? And then we go through all the chunks, starting from the add the sprites to the game, starting from the starting from the back and the lane, starting from the last sprite in the farthest lane. Okay. So starting at the last lane and starting at sprite 0. No, we need to add the sprite to the furthest lane from the not from the back, right? Sprite number. What is sprite number? Lane number. Yeah, sprite number starting at 0 from the front. Is we starting at the first sprite in the nearest lane, because we draw backwards. Although let's have a look. See, we're doing, if we invert this, right? Then we just re-invert this. We're starting at the law. Although, which one is better? Assign the last sprite in the furthest lane. That's what we want. No, we know. Okay, and the first sprite in the nearest lane because we draw backwards. Okay, do that makes the other math better. We can do that. Okay, well, we don't really do a min, but whatever. It doesn't really matter which way we draw. Okay, because we draw backwards. Draw sprites from the back to the front. There we go. Just and the chunk manager should be okay. We can have a sprite manager creating the sprite, but we can do that later. But for now, let's get rid of this. Here's the chunk. There we go. Less code. We've got a chunk manager over here, and this is pretty cool. Chunk game chunks. Let's just rename this to chunks. In fact, this will probably be in the chunk manager. Chunk manager dot whatever. Let's just do that. Chunks. And I saw a game assets. So just do this. Assets. All right. Assets and asset manager, chunk manager, chunks, move direction, obstacle, and probably can have, that's fine for now. All right. Let's run our game. We've done a whole bunch of exciting things. Look at all of that. We added a chunk manager, which is basically going to be saying, hey, give us the next chunk. That's all it does. If the chunk can fit, we add pick the next chunk. So and chunk fit. I probably want to extract that so we can compare two chunks. Still going. Maybe the chunk manager, maybe I'll add a quick unit test. So instead of comparing, there we go. So we have our guy. We obviously stick it into portrait like a mobile phone vibe. We've got our tap, tap, tap. There we go. Look at that. We can everything's very close together. So you might have to make the guy smaller and the tiles bigger or something, so that we can. Yeah. Let me quickly comment this out. One thing I want to try is when drawing the sprites, right? We know the player is at 0, 0. So when we do drawing, okay, let's quickly tap one. Draw sprites. Draw sprites in front of the player. From back to front. Draw sprites from back far to close. Okay. Leave through all our sprites. And we want to make sure if sprite dot what do they call that? Is it origin? If origin dot y is greater than 0, then we do continue, right? Let's see. There we go. So let's quickly take off the logic to collide. There we go. Score is not counting up, so something horrible is broken, but whatever. Here we go. Look at that. Sense of depth and scale, and right, at some point we pass through the player. Okay, amazing. I like that. And then we need to figure out why score is not changing, or maybe my data binding is broken. But that's okay. All right. Now let's add key press. Can we add accelerators? Okay, for now let's just do that, right? So let's stop this. Right now this is a single game, and I'm not impressed with my detection for chunking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a new project, and we're going to call this, let's make it a game engine, right? Because that's what we're doing, cool game engine. Let's see if we can avoid using, this would be, maybe, because one thing I was thinking, we can make this on the web as well, right? Sharp can work on the web. So there's no need for Maui in the sense of, forcing ourselves to restrict it to Maui. So this would be live runner engine. There we go. Maybe one day we can make a theming system, and we can just start spawning games on the stores until one of them sticks. Okay, delete all of that, and then we just copy or move everything into live runner engine, right? Yes, save everything. Whoopsie. And we delete game components. Yes. Oh, everything exploded. Can I fix namespaces? Sick namespaces. There we go. Apply. Okay. So I go to game page. Game live. Add project reference. Do live runner engine. Look at us. Let's see if this builds. Build failed. Whoosh. Maui doesn't exist. Okay. You know what? Hashtag use Maui. Nullable. Maui, and we're going to need a Maui version right over here. Access Maui to controls. There we go. And we don't want compatibility actually. And we can do use Maui compat. I think that's false. If I save that, Maui should no longer have Maui controls. I think this will add it back. Yeah. We don't want to use Maui compat. We never want to use that. We never want to be compatible. We are dispatable. Okay, save that. I think that's now a Maui library. Reload projects. Pack, oops, things have totally item group. Important to do the old spell check correctly. Okay, let me reload that. Yes, save it. I don't know why my Control S is not working. Package reference beneath element. What? Item group, package reference. That's item group, right? I am not insane. Item group, right? Let's try that again. Reload project. There we go. Who knows? Reload this bad boy. rebuild. Let's see what happens. We should have Maui there. You might need to fix that Maui C sharp, obviously, Matthew. We have to do the basics. We're going to do skill sharp. And we also want to maybe add some logging or something, make it a real game. Skill sharp. There we go. Okay. Let's go to game quickly. That's probably all the cool hardcore stuff is. And I'm using Community Toolkit and MVVM. It's probably not what we need, but data binding and all that. There we go. Yay, it succeeded. Okay, so now this should be working as well. Whoops, I added build. It's going to build all the platforms, but luckily, game components is got live runner engine. There we go. Async on game over. Let's run the game. Oh, there we go. And we're buying live score, dashboard header, dashboard value. I don't know why score is not working, but whatever. We don't need to deal with that right now. There we go. So the sandbox page, right? So the asset manager is going to be the game engine. There we go. All right. The game should be amazing. Taking a sweet time. And there it is. Oh, we got no bottles. Oh, we do. There we go. Start off easy. Okay. These are obstacles. That's why we get no score, right? And then, of course, we can tap the screen. And we can swipe. All right. That's pretty cool. So let's add a quick test. So again, to the solution manager, we do add new project, and let's do we're using XUnit because that's all the cool kids. Live runner engine dot tests, because that's how we do things. Okay, let's go test. And let's quickly check our doubt, if you will. Is that chunks? Our chunk manager is giving us wrong chunks. So we do pick next chunk. We're going to say can chunk fit? So our logic here is last row. So array pool, let's just do that. And we are going to use a sprite kind dot shared dot rent last chunk dot length. No, last chunk. Yeah, lanes. chunks. Okay, went. And of course, we always want to make sure that the first thing we do actually dot return last row. Okay, and then we want to do for each lane. There we go. Where are they at? Okay, all right, do the work for me. Copy the last row copy the last row of the last chunk, right? And then we want to do with these two chunks, return there. So we need to do here, we want to replace chunk with a sprite kind. So let's do that. We're going to do read only span and sprite kind. New chunk, let's call that chunk. Chunk. There we go. New chunk. Actually, no. Let's stop that. There. Oh, last chunk. Last chunk. Right. There we go. And this still needs to be chunk, chunk, new chunk, new next chunk. Use the word next and last, next and last. Okay. So we can do this. Yes. Can chunk fit? We need to do fit. So let's call last chunk row chunk. There we go. So you can say, hey, will this chunk fit based on public static? Oh, there we go. Let's keep that static last chunk. Okay. Public static, right? Because can chunk fit, and this will be last row. There we go. Next chunk. Look at that, IntelliSense. Okay. And let's just also put this in a try finally block, so that right. Give me a next chunk from the available ones, right? So the way this works is filter the chunk. Can the chunk fit? So we've got two helper methods that we're going to test to make sure that can this chunk and the next chunk go together. So last row, next chunk, right? And the next chunk is there and it compares the first row. I mean, technically, yeah, let's just do that, right? So let's quickly run this to make sure the game still works, and then we can write a test. Because I am suspicious about some of these placements. Let's see if we can get an example of a bad one. Yeah, pretty sure I saw a case where it was a right chicane. That one, and everything on the far distance. Like this one, right? The center, like the center, and that's impossible. Like this one here, here's a right chicane and a far lane here. So I wonder if I'm just adding it wrong. Where's those chunks here, right? So I got we add a unit test, alright, and we can do, let's just quickly do this. We're going to do chunk manager. This one's just a reference. These tiny vulnerabilities. So, dot and chunk fit. And when I have given you, I'm going to come up with two chunks. So, var last chunk is equal to chunks dot chicane right, and var next chunk is equal to chunks dot. Well, let's do the one I saw again. Left and right blocks the obstacle, and this one is center lane blocks the obstacle. I saw that, and this one clearly then search. Right, let's quickly run this test. I am pretty sure I saw this happen, and you can open it. No, not that was 3D. Okay, check on NuGets updates. Oh, there's updates all over the place. So let's update everything. Not pre-release for now. Test passed. You see, it's lying to me. Oh wait, no, it's false. Okay. So for all the stuff they can update, you're gonna update everything quickly to get past those vulnerability warnings. And let's have a look at the game again when it's finished. Because who is using this compatibility? Okay, what changed? I run an app with the new stuff. I run an engine. No controls compatibility. We don't want that. Click on Revit solution. Except the Maui one. We don't want to go to 9 just yet. Okay. And this one we don't want to go just yet. I mean, technically, you know what? We're testing the testing. Install. Update. Just not the Maui. We want to wait for the stable version. That's going to be announced. .NET Conf is starting in an hour, an hour and 30 minutes. Bet you the streams are live. Let's go check them out just to make sure while they install. Accept. On YouTube actually. Just .NET. And we go straight there. Nicely they had a link. There it is. Live upcoming day 1. This is scheduled in 85 minutes. I mean, that people are already chatting. I'm not even. Okay, that's updating. Not that it's going to affect our test. We're going to run our game again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write text on the screen for debugging. Oh, everything's broken. So let's do game. Let's click that, and let's do const. Yeah, private const bool debug mode is equal to true, right? And then we go over here and we're going to do some advanced debugging here. Layers overlapping, origin. You know what? Let's make this public static class bug options, and we're going to call this public const bool draw debug lines is equal to true, and we're going to do public const bool all is equal to true. Let's do that. All right, so all is equal to true. Draw chunk names. Okay, so let's do that. And then we're going to say, okay, chunks, we're going to have to give them a name now. But that's okay. Chunk public string name get set. Not required. So this is init only. There we go. I think that's what I want. Init. Right means so I go to chunks, and then I go to name is equal to empty. This one. IntelliSense do it for me? And we're going to quickly um, all right. So we've given it names. We're going to pick a chunk. Okay, the game is going to come along and say, oh, here we go. And so let's do this. Draw debug lines, draw debug lines, draw debug regions. No, draw regions. There we go. Draw collision and draw chunk names, and we're going to do draw scale entire game. All right, we're going to do this. Scale the entire game in what I'm trying to do. Cool thing, but yeah. Should we draw all of it? Or do false here? Just enable it. Let's not get too technical. So there's some advanced scale entire game. So we go over to here. I'm going to make that internal for now because I don't want anyone to see that. I want to see that the fact that I've got horrors. Okay. Location, detect any collisions. Here we go. Zoom out and scale the window border. I wanted to check. Okay, the chunk names. Here we go. Draw player. Draw sprites behind the player. Spawn next sprite. Pick next chunk. Sprites dot add. Where do you put that name? Suppose it doesn't matter, right? Because if I did this right, no matter what happens, create debug sprite. Clear the sprites. All the sprites, if it says we remove, that's right. Okay, sprites remove at sprites and sprites and sprites to that. Okay, so I can technically create a sprite. We're going to call this public class the bug sprite, and this is just a sprite. This is going to just be that. Let's make this internal for now. This debug sprite is going to go to a new file. And this debug sprite is going to do, what do we got here to do? Collision region. Asset is null. Okay, so we're going to override the draw. We're always going to do that. Overlaps, just going to do that. So debug sprite, we're going to do override draw, and we're not going to do any base draw, I think. What we're going to do is canvas dot oh, okay. Let's do this. Draw, and then we're going to do, let's move this sprite. Extract method for um, there you go. Asset is null. We don't do anything. Well, that's not for us to decide. Okay, we're going to do that. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we're probably never going to want to do that. I mean, you do want all of this stuff. Where's that scale? Asset scale is equal to 1.0f. Real, yeah. Empty, no asset. Okay. So we're going to debug sprite, and we're going to do actually public override asset, right? And we can change it later, but let me just quickly check. Do I need anything here? Canvas asset, width and height of the canvas. Actually, we need that. Okay, just copy the whole thing. Okay, and we're not going to do the transform. Actually, yeah, then I'm sure. There we go. Whatever. We'll figure that out. It's the device, right? Then we do canvas dot raw text. Let's quickly do that. Debug reasons, and we're going to do let me do this. Public string doing a constructor. It's going in high text string text. We're going to assign to text field. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Let's do that. We're going to do script text, and we can draw this at 0, 0. Escape point dot mt, and there we go. New SK font, new SK paint, and this one's going to have color equal to SK colors dot fuchsia. There we go. Right. Okay. Fuchsia. Now we need to when we add a sprite. Here we go. Right. New right options dot draw chunk names, and we're going to do that is true we'll do new debug sprite, and we're going to do next chunk dot name, otherwise null. What's the time? Okay, I have to probably have to come offline. Probably a meeting coming up, and of course we can do. Starting at first sprite in the nearest lane. All right, I think I got to go to a meeting, but I'll just leave it as is. We did quite a bit. We're gonna debug things, but for now we'll commit what we have and we'll fix the tests. Created a engine library. Fixed a bunch of things. Drawing walls. Added a unit test project, and yeah, let's just leave it like that. All right, thank you very much, folks. I gotta go. As always, I work right until the end, and well, thank you very much.